Hello guys, how's it going? Today I'm going to talk about the Y2K problem and how it affected the world. You've probably heard of it before. The term Y2K stands for the year 2000, and let's talk a bit about the history behind it. So, back in the 60s, when computer programming was still in its infancy, and there was a lot of room for growth, and people realized that computers were the future. Memory used to be really expensive back then. So computers back then used to have like a memory of a few megabytes back then. So they used to write programs in such a way that would maximize the efficiency of the programs and also save the most memory that they could. So for the dates though, they used to store the dates in a different format than that we're getting these days. So today's date back then would look like 060320. So basically they used to get rid of the first two digits of the year to save 2 bytes. Even though it might sound funny, because like memory is so cheap these days, you can get 16 gigs of RAM for less than $100 or so these days. Back then that wasn't the case. So everything was running fine, and during the 60s the programmers, they were sure that they would actually like solve it later on and they wouldn't be using the same programs later on. But in the early 90s, when the programmers realized that they have been using the same programs, or like the iterations of the same programs, and all the banks, the transportation systems like the subways, the airplanes, and whatever, like whatnot, they all had the same programs as before with new iterations, and they all had the same format for the dates as well. They started wondering like what was gonna happen when the new millennium came. So the computers, they have no idea about the dates, right? You gotta store them properly, and when the new millennium came, it was gonna show 010100. So the computers had no idea on how to differentiate between the year 2000 and 1900. So there was a high risk that all the work that they had done, all the programs, all the softwares, whatever they had done with the computers, they would all crash. Like even the bank records, like the credit cards, would all start failing. The airplanes would no longer be able to function properly, and they were scared a lot. There was like a huge panic in regular people as well, especially in the first world countries. And the United States alone spent around $100 billion to fight this issue. Australia as well spent a lot of money to combat the issue. And Russia, on the other hand, though, were indifferent to it. They decided not to worry about it because they were sure that it wasn't going to be a big deal at all. And let's talk about what happened. First of all, a nuclear power plant in Japan. The alarms there like started ringing, which was easily solved. In Australia, the bus tickets, the ticket counters, I mean, they stopped functioning properly. In the United States, there were some minor issues as well. The banks had some issues, but nothing major at all. So was this all just a hoax, as people think like today that it's actually a hoax? Not at all. The issue was pretty real, and it was actually a good thing that the professionals, they decided to take care of it, even though they ended up wasting a lot of money. There are some people who still claim that the issue didn't have major repercussions just because it was handled properly. But the Y2K problem actually shows how much technology has advanced and how much more memory and whatnot on computers we can get these days. It's just a landmark of human endeavor. And also, it didn't end the world at all, thankfully. All right, that's all from me now. And stay safe, stay home. Also, Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content, and let me know in the comment section if you'd want to watch content based on something else. Signing off.